A program aimed at making homeownership easier is getting a boost from an area business. Plus, heading south to learn from lessons of the past.
These have changed kids' lives.
And finally, see a snowstorm from the point of view of a plow driver. It all starts right now on this edition of Iowa City in Focus. For nearly a decade, the UniverCity program has been creating homeownership opportunities in the downtown area. And a recent partnership with an unlikely organization gave those efforts a boost. Ty Coleman explains.
Real estate is a hot commodity in Iowa City, so we had several options what we could have done with the homes. We chose to go to the city of Iowa City and give back to the community.
It's been very successful, and there's a lot of benefits to the program that we didn't even realize from the start.
We love this vibrant, near downtown, near North Side neighborhood. It has a lot of history.
Iowa City has a wide variety of neighborhoods, with all kinds of people living in them. Having the University of Iowa downtown creates a high student population, with some areas having as much as 40 to 50% of the homes occupied by renters.
While we need rental property, it's good to have a healthy balance between owner-occupied and rental.
Since its beginning in 2010, the UniverCity program has converted over 65 homes from rental housing to owner-occupied dwellings. The program's goal is to create a more stable living environment to ensure that the University of Iowa campus and surrounding neighborhoods remain safe, affordable, and attractive places to live and work for both renters and homeowners. To do this, the City of Iowa City works with rental property owners to purchase houses at reasonable prices and invest in needed improvements that make them more desirable.
If the kitchen was functional, even if it was a 1950s, 60s, 70s kitchen, if it's a rental property, no one's changing those out. So you see a lot of outdated kitchens, a lot of outdated bathrooms.
Finding a balance between adding modern conveniences and retaining historical aspects of a home, the work is completed by contractors, selected through a bidding process.
And then again, we look at items that we don't want the homeowner to have to deal with for 5 years. So say a new furnace, new water heater, exterior work, windows.
When the work's done, the city will sell a home at an affordable price to qualified members of the community who will live there for at least 5 years.
We've seen an increase in property values in some of the neighborhoods that we've worked in, and just the sense of pride in home ownership, it just carries through with the program and has benefits that are pretty long-lasting in the neighborhood.
Earlier this year, the UniverCity program completed the conversion of 2 homes that previously belonged to Mercy, Iowa City.
And they were formerly rental properties that we had here at the hospital. Obviously, we're not in the business of being a landlord, and it was something we weren't interested in continuing.
So Mercy approached the city and offered to sell the houses at a very fair price, confident the UniverCity program would give them a new life, one that would add value to the neighborhood where Mercy, Iowa City has resided since 1883.
We obviously believe in the neighborhood here, and we wanted to maintain this neighborhood feel.
And besides improving its own neighborhood, Mercy's generous partnership with the city also aligned with the hospital's mission and values.
One of our values is stewardship. I believe that the collaboration with the city and being able to make the houses available for people to live in a very desirable location at an affordable rate is something that the sisters would have approved of very much.
It's close proximity to Mercy. It allows residents to have affordable housing right here near the hospital and right here near downtown. It feels rewarding to be able to do that for the city and for the community members of Iowa City.
And the rewards continue as the new owner moves in and begins to make the newly purchased house a home.
On my drive to and from work every day, I pass some of the houses that have been acquired by families or couples through this program. And the houses are so much improved. And you can tell that they are being loved. You know, they have plantings, they have gardens. The neighborhoods just look so much better by having people who are living in a long-term fashion in those homes.
And it's partnerships like this one that have helped the UniverCity program be successful in making Iowa City neighborhoods a better place for all of us.
Become a part of the Iowa City Parks and Recreation Department's aquatic team this summer. The city is looking for full-time and part-time lifeguards and swim instructors. These positions will staff the city's 3 pools 7 days a week. Applicants must be at least 15 years old. Certified guards are a plus, but training is provided for non-certified staff. You can learn more about the opportunity or apply for a position by visiting icgov.org/jobs. Each year for the past decade, a group of high school students from Iowa City have taken a trip down south to learn about the civil rights movement. Marking the 10th anniversary, 2 city council members were able to attend the trip, including a special stop in Birmingham, Alabama. This annual civil rights trip serves as an in-depth history lesson into America's checkered past. Fast Track, an organization aimed at educating youth, began the tour a decade ago.
By having them go and seeing other black kids, seeing these civil rights monuments, listening to these stories, they understand now there's a lot of people that's paid the price for them to vote, get education, and be responsible for their own choice.
Over the course of a week, a bus full of students, parents, and chaperones traveled to significant sites of the civil rights movement. Stops include Memphis, Montgomery, Selma, Atlanta, and Birmingham, which played a central role in the civil rights movement during the 1950s and 60s. From the many protests held in Kelly Ingram Park to the horrific bombing that took the lives of 4 young girls at the 16th Street Baptist Church. This city provides some great teaching lessons about the struggle for equality.
People understand the history and they want to better themselves. Everyone wants to achieve great things.
I see how my ancestors came up and the things that they had to go to, and I'm blessed and I have the luxury to not have to go through the same things just because all the hard times and suffering that they had to go to.
I think everyone should at least try to go on this trip at least once in their lives, or go somewhere similar, because it really opened doors and new experiences for you.
It made me think more of this really happened.
Another portion of this stop looks how the city of Birmingham has grown over the years, working to heal the racial wounds of the past.
I think we're really now seeing the fruits of that civil rights struggle in the city of Birmingham, a dynamic, multiracial city, which is exactly what Martin Luther King envisioned for such a great community.
Rockne Cole and Jim Throgmorton, members of Iowa City City Council, joined the trip in 2018 for the 10-year anniversary.
We also feel like we learned a lot about what they're trying to do with regard to black youth in Birmingham. We were paying attention to what they're trying to do here.
Dubbed City Day, our group was given a behind-the-scenes look at the fire department, community outreach efforts through the police department, and the city's programming through the Department of Youth Services.
Well, by far the most interesting thing was the skit that was performed.
I'm stupid! You're not stupid! I heard on Snapchat that you stole money from your mama to buy a gun! What? That's real stupid! Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? What? Freeze! Man, what you doing?
It was so realistic, I could feel every one of our kids just resonating with that.
And it was all capped off with the opportunity for the kids to meet Mayor Randall Woodfin, the youngest mayor that Birmingham has had in over a century.
My favorite part was just seeing all of these young black men and women in leadership positions. I don't see that in a lot of places, and to see that in Birmingham, Alabama was just life-changing and very inspiring to see.
And to have our young people in Iowa City see all these terrific role models that we have in the South in terms of people of color in essential leadership positions. And so one of the key take-homes I want to do is to really see what we can do better to make sure that we have more people of color getting opportunities to all of our departments in the city of Iowa City.
This was just one day of a week-long trip of history, culture, and education. A 30-minute documentary outlining the civil rights trip experience will be shown during a one-time screening in Iowa City. The screening will begin at 6 p.m. on April 4th, the anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This free screening and panel discussion will be held at Marcus Sycamore Cinema, located within the Iowa City Marketplace. Come to learn more about this annual opportunity for youth.
Primarily the purpose of the PIN grants is to provide the resources to neighborhoods to allow them to do what it is that they would like to do as part of the focus that they have in their neighborhood, if they have some improvements that they want to see, if they want to help some of the people, maybe the low income or the elderly in the neighborhood.
Each year, the city offers funding to neighborhood associations to beautify or strengthen their neighborhood. Neighborhoods can apply to fund a variety of programs or projects. The maximum grant amount is $5,000, offering a great incentive to get involved.
Again, it just provides that motivator that they have something to work with.
Applications are due by March 29th. All submitted ideas will go through an evaluation process. Funds will be made available on July 1st for the selected projects. Learn more about the grant and find information about your neighborhood association or how to form one at icgov.org/neighborhoodassociations. This is a terrific way to get involved in our community and keep Iowa City a great place to live. The relentless winter we've experienced this year has been hard on all of us, including the city's streets division. I jumped in the cab of a plow driver to see what it's like when they head out to treat the streets during a storm. When snow and ice hit, the city's plow drivers can be found on the streets.
Every route will have two pieces of equipment in it, one truck and one end loader.
Dave Gillum has worked for the city for nearly 30 years, and during that time, he's logged some long days and nights.
For 16 hours is what's legal by law, then with an 8-hour break.
Through decades behind the wheel of a snowplow, the biggest challenge has always remained the same.
The biggest gift that you could give the snowplow driver is to remove your cars from the street. Would be probably the most helpful thing you could do for us.
Not everyone has off-street parking available, but if you do, the plow drivers ask for the space to make sure they can completely clear the road.
If it is too narrow, the plow driver may not be able to get down the street, which inevitably means that we won't be able to plow your road until some of the cars are moved.
Another helpful favor is to make sure not to tailgate behind a plow.
Just give us a little bit of space. You know, don't be right on us. For the most part, most people are kind of courteous. If they see you coming, they move off to the side.
Take it slow and stay safe. If you don't need to go anywhere, don't. The less cars that are out there, the faster that we can do our job.
The city is broken into 13 different sections, and plow drivers use a priority ranking system to determine which streets are plowed first.
The streets are laid out in 3 different colors. The most important street is a red street, which is a main arterial street that's coming into town. That is going to be our first priority.
Second priority, marked in blue, includes heavily traveled roads and steeper grade streets. The third priority consists of flat, residential streets that see less traffic.
The residentials and like circles, dead ends, and things like that.
Clearing the roads is an important job, but it's not one that can be done quickly.
They need to be able to clear the streets effectively, and that does take time.
By giving the plow drivers the space and time needed to clear the streets, we can all get where we're going safely.
I'd like to thank all the residents for being patient with us. Our goal is to get people to and from where they're going as safely as possible, and that does take patience with all the residents that we have.
Next time on Iowa City in Focus, historic cabins that are being restored in City Park are nearing completion. Learn more about the project on our next episode. We also wanted to make sure you're aware of another show we are producing, only you listen to it, not watch it. Iowa City Matters is a podcast that looks at projects and programs that have substantial impact on our community. We've already released episodes on historic preservation and crisis intervention. Listen to Iowa City Matters on iTunes, SoundCloud, or on our website at icgov.org/Iowa City Matters. We'll be back soon with another episode of Iowa City in Focus.